They said he's a terrier.
This little guy, the center of a lawsuit.
Yes, little darling. Smile.
On one side, Boots' owner. On the other, the Lee County Sheriff. Carmine Marcino went to civil court, not criminal court, civil court, to ask a judge to take the terrier mix away from his owner, 66-year-old Jeanette Davis.
This is just unusual. All I will tell you is that it's unusual.
The sheriff made the decision to sue after the state attorney refused to file criminal charges. Deputies believe Davis, while a guest at this La Quinta Inn, either tossed or allowed Boots to fall 3 floors to the ground. Guests at the hotel said the loud noise sounded like a soda can hitting the ground. Turns out Boots had only minor injuries, but Davis ended up at the hospital disoriented.
The sheriff had one perspective where they went to charge her with cruelty to animals. When you read the whole report, kind of recognize that there's some sort of elderly mental health thing going on.
Sheriff Marcino is active on social media, has even put up billboards, making it clear he will not put up with animal abuse. This lawsuit proves that. But the judge ordered Boots go home with Davis.
His name was Boots, right?
Anika Henniger, Wink News Now.
Jeanette Davis, the woman you saw holding Boots, would not talk about the case, just her dog. The man with her said they planned to make a donation to animal services. Anika asked Sheriff Marcino to talk about why he went to such lengths, but a spokesperson told her he respectfully declined.
Our phones are blowing up like never before. Who knew you had so many friends to text? Oh, wait. You don't know Sarah from the Trump headquarters? Never met Shane from Michelle Obama's voting campaign? Isn't there a law that protects us from these messages? Yes, but there's a loophole.
Somebody just taps send.
The Telephone Consumer Protection Act does not apply when a person sends a text message.
Someone's actually sending me a message when I get that. There's an actual human behind that.
You will often see things that say in the message, hi, this is Cindy, or it's Bob, right? To kind of give you that indication that there is a person on the other end of the phone that's sending the message to you.
So how'd they get your number?
So there's different data companies that will work across aisles, and they collect your data. If you've ever opted in for anything, obviously the data is not 100% accurate. I believe I was called Janice.
And if you 100% want it to stop, text just that, all caps, stop.
The best way to try to address this, if you don't want to continue receiving them, is just to respond, stop.
Fort Myers detectives say a fight in May of 2015 put rival gangs on a collision course that led to a mass shooting right here at Club Blue 14 months later. July 24th and 25th, 2016. 2 gangs played a deadly game of cat and mouse that ended up killing boys who weren't even playing. Stefan Strotter and Sean Archilles, innocent kids, at a party inside Club Blue. Police traced the violence back 14 months. May 1st, 2015. 2 members of rival gangs get into a fight at Dunbar High School. The first documented violence between One Way's Demetrius O'Neill and Bottom Boy's Javante Whitfield. After that came the guns. August 2015, a 12-year-old girl shot in a drive-by shooting. She was standing next to Whitfield, one of the Bottom Boys. The would-be killers, detectives say, One-Way gang members. Everyone dropped to the ground except Whitfield, who shot back. The violence got more intense, and so did the gang's communication. Detectives say they stalked each other on social media, sending screenshots of their targets' locations. And when school let out for the summer in 2016, a One-Way gang member posted online the hashtag Bloody Summer. They had the guns to keep their promise.
So much data came in, so much evidence was collected.
Back to July 24th, 2016. The chase reached its peak. Investigators say One Way planned what would be their final assault on the Bottom Boys at this home. They then gunned up and headed for Club Blue at what was supposed to be a teen beach party.
Visualize that, hundreds of people in the parking lot, people shooting. The only thing stopping those bullets were bodies.
Now, 5 members of the one-way gang are now in custody for the mass shooting here. As for their target, Javante Whitfield, he went to jail on gun and drug charges. He's set to be released in 4 days.
You can try to keep up appearances, but you can only control so much.
Well, when you're sitting there and you have clients in the salon and a rat comes running out, I mean, that's a good sign you need to get out of it.
Out of this run-down shopping center where Sue Stansky and her boss Deb styled hair for years. The big stores saw what was happening and cut their losses and ran. The salon stuck around.
There was a new owner that had purchased the mall from Miami. They did not maintain. You know, they came in and gave Debbie a big story. Oh, we're going to keep it up. We're going to get stores in here. You know, you're going to see a difference. But no, it got worse.
So one by one, or store by store, dropped out as customers stopped dropping in.
Finding needles, we were finding drug paraphernalia. The old grocery store there, they had broken the door down, the homeless people, and you walk by and it just reeked of urine. In the back where the loading dock was, they were bathing back there. It just got frightening.
So the salon gave up and got out too. The commissioner for this district, Brian Hammond, told me the property owner, Luis Dominguez, met with him and showed him big plans. But so far, no action.
The property owner, who doesn't even live here, doesn't appear to care about our community at all. He doesn't take care of his property, and it's really holding the rest of North Fort Myers back.
I think it's a shame.
Commissioner Hammond told me the owner of this abandoned strip mall's racked up more than almost $40,000 in fines, but not enough to make a difference. So can the county just take control of this property? Hammond told me eminent domain just doesn't work that way for economic development.
News exclusive story now seen on the national news and around the world. A 6-year-old child paddled by her principal as punishment. Her mom told deputies it was all over damage to a computer.
So many of you have replayed, rewinded, rewatched what happened at Central Elementary in Clewiston. But the first grader, the 6-year-old girl in the video, had to relive it when she met with investigators from the Department of Children and Families. The attorney for the girl's mother gave us documents he told us came from DCF. According to those documents, first, she told investigators what any little girl might. She likes to play with her dog. She likes to draw. She likes math. Then she moved on to the hard stuff. This little girl told DCF it was the first time that happened, getting paddled by the principal, that afterward she had purple bruises and it hurts when she sits down. Then the investigator noted the girl got upset and started to cry. Those same documents show DCF's interview with Principal Melissa Carter, emotional too. Carter defended the paddling, said the first lick was a good one, and the second and third were soft taps. Investigators said Carter told them she felt humiliated because the mother has put the video on social media. And Carter swore she would never intentionally hurt a child. She said the mother requested it and never tried to stop her. According to the documents, the Department of Children and Families said consent did not matter. What Mrs. Carter did was excessive and inappropriate. DCF recommended no contact with young and vulnerable children in an official capacity. But Hendry County Schools Superintendent said Carter will be principal of Central Elementary this coming year after wrapping up its own internal investigation.
You guys made that determination knowing that everything was under investigation still?
We made, investigation from the state. Our investigation within the county is complete, yes.
Hendry County Schools will only tell us they're investigating. So I asked a woman who's had to oversee these investigations before, what happens when an educator is the center of questions about how they treat your children. When we make a mistake, we answer for it. But Renelia DeBose will tell you the answer for a mistake on behalf of an entire school district usually starts with silence. Or
this time we're currently involved in an active investigation. We are not at liberty to disclose how the investigation is going.
DeBose worked in schools in Pasco, Hillsborough, and Orange County. She's trained principals, worked in HR, seen it all. She's also seen this video out of Hendry County and what schools must do next.
This principal violated district policy. That is an offense that can lead to termination, and then of course you get a due process hearing.
So in this case, if the school board recommends the principal be fired, the due process hearing would allow her to fight back with a lawyer. DeBose told me there is a code of ethics for educators. That code demands they make a reasonable effort to protect a student's mental and/or physical health and safety.
Is that reasonable? Is that beating reasonable? And I would argue it may rise to the level of child abuse.
The answer is critical to this little girl's family, according to their attorney. But all they've heard is some school board members show support for the principal during Tuesday night's board meeting.
She loves children. She's a wonderful educator. That's all great. She also beats children savagely.
So you don't want your board praising something.
Especially something involving hitting a child. I reached out to each school board member today over email for the third day and have not heard back. As for the district, it's still no comment. Wink News again tried to talk with the principal and clerk you saw in the video, but neither responded to voicemails we left again today. First, he told us he couldn't talk specifics, that it's a pending case. Then Richard Corcoran referred me to the letter he sent the principal of Central Elementary, Melissa Carter, saying he found probable cause for sanctions against her. So I followed up.
Can you talk a little bit about some of the aggressive action you've taken towards any school official that may have threatened that trust that parents have in the school system?
Well, and that violation can take place in many ways. I mean, obviously, I think if you look over the last 2.5 years under Governor DeSantis' leadership, we've been whether it's a violation of indoctrination, we've dealt with that very harshly. Obviously, any kind of even a perception that's also based in law of improprieties in touching or whatever, all of those things, we've escalated all of our punishments over the last 2.5 years to make sure that our classrooms are 100% safe physically, safe emotionally, and safe intellectually.
The commissioner's letter to the principal, Carter, said she could lose her educator's certificate. When we last spoke to Carter's attorney, he told us they plan to fight that and that his hope is that she's principal of that school in Clewiston come August. The attorney pointed to what he called an unwritten policy. If a parent said it was okay to spank a child. And he said because of this culture and because the mom gave her permission, what Melissa Carter did was perfectly fine. The Hendry County School District policy does not allow corporal punishment like spanking, no matter what, plain and simple. But the attorney for this woman, Central Elementary Principal Melissa Carter, told me what's on paper is not what the district practices.
They never stopped with regards to if a parent requests discipline, that the child is disciplined.
Stephen Ramuni told me that's why his client never stopped spanking students. Why she's seen here, spanking a 6-year-old girl. The culture of the schools allowed it.
So you're saying she was going by the culture, that this was happening in all the schools, that she was just going along with what's been going on for years?
As has been going on for years, notwithstanding that they put something in writing.
The Florida Department of Education said that's not good enough, that there's probable cause for sanctions against Carter. The Department of Children and Families said Carter's actions were excessive and inappropriate, but the Hendry County Schools investigation came to a different conclusion, and the board decided to reappoint Carter as principal of Central Elementary.
How can the district's investigation be so different from everything here, the DCF investigation's findings, the Florida Department of Education's findings? How is it so different?
Probably because the district's investigation here is based in reality and knowing more of the facts as opposed to what has gone on in Tallahassee.
I reached out to the Hendry County Superintendent hoping to get his reaction to what the attorney said here today. I was told he was not available, but because the state ruled there was probable cause for the sanctions against Carter, she could lose her educator's certificate, but her attorney here told me that they will work to fight that so that she can be principal again come August.